There we go. I don't know why that acted up a little bit, but hi, hello. Thank you for the raid. I'm still getting everything set up, but thank you again for the raid. Hi, nerd. Yeah, I am a nerd. All right. Okay, so I think I have that ambiance low enough that it's just going to be kind of in the background as I'm talking. So there's that. All right. Okay. All right. Have a good luck, Eve. My my mother-in-law just handed me another plate of food. I gotta at least take one bite. It's s- yeah, strawberry shortcake with cookie dough ice cream. I am absolutely pampered. Okay, so we've got all that stuff going, and let me just see if my overlay tonight will be cooperating. Okay, it has decided not to cooperate quite yet. So I think there, and then let me just move some things around. Because that was showing me Twitch. You know what? It might be actually easier if I can see what I'm doing. Okay. Um. Oh no, it just wants this window in particular. Okay. You know what? That's fine. Give me just a moment here. You know what? I can work with this. There we go. All right. Let's see. And let's see how this looks again. There we go. Perfect. Perfect. I love it. I love it. All right. We'll just close that there. Okay. So let's see. I do have some to make some on the spot adjustments. Give me just a moment and bam. All right. There we go. Okay. And then so it's a little bit scuffed, but you know what? It works. This is fine. Hold on. This ice cream's melting, so I actually do have to eat this before it's gone. But how is everybody doing? Is everyone excited? Um, just to kind of go over how this works. So I am gonna be reading this kind of like solo scenario. This one is called "Alone Against the Static," and oh, the music is getting a little bit loud. Give me just a moment here. Let me just dial that down a bit. All right. Yeah, so how this works is I'm basically going to be reading the scenario and reading the choices to everybody, and then more or less it's going to be a group vote. Um, Either kind of more like just kind of I'll eyeball the chat and we'll just do a majority vote sort of thing on what our character does. And the times I've done this in the past have always been a lot of fun. I've always had a lot of good compliments on it, so I am really looking forward to it. Um, I think the last time I did this, our unfortunate victim, I think what happened was he got away from the danger, and then we decided, hey, what'll happen? What would happen if we did fail? And that was a lot of good fun. You know, it probably helps if I get the book ready and everything too while I'm talking. But so I believe the premise of this particular story is that we have two potential choices for characters, and the two of them are a couple that are going on kind of like a cabin getaway in order to kind of fix and mend their relationship. Um, Basically, we pick one character to play, and I maybe potentially, well, I'm assuming that if one dies, we play as the other, but we'll just have to see what happens. And I think there's even like a checklist of things that we can kind of mark off as we go through the story. Oh yeah, there's a log sheet here, so that should be interesting. Let's see. Copy or print out this page for use when playing. Entries on this log sheet reflect choices you've made in events that have transpired during your playthrough. Refer to the log sheet to check off or tick or consult entries as instructed. Whenever you begin a playthrough, reset all entries in the log sheet. So, that should be fun. There's some interesting words here, like tinnitus, um, temporal steel, tech support, razor sharp. So, should be fun. Should be interesting. I'm looking forward to what all these different things may mean, but I'm going to have this open as a separate thing. Actually, hold on. Looks like there's some. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So I'll have this open as a separate thing, and I'll just edit it as we go along. Um, but yeah, so that's kind of the premise of everything. Um, I do need to finish eating this dessert really quick before we start, but does anyone have... Actually, hold on. I'll be right back. I gotta... There's somebody knocking at the door. Okay, I am back. Let's see. So, oh gosh, let me. There we go. Okay, so I guess I'll go ahead and get started once I eat up this ice cream that's already half melted. So, give me just a moment. Just gonna let the ambiance I found play and have that kind of just set the general vibe of this horror story. Hi, Sam. Hi. Good to see you. You know what? You're just in time because we haven't even started yet. Lissa's mom handed me dessert, and I've been trying to talk and eat it at the same time. It's melting rapidly. It's a strawberry shortcake and chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. On my way. All right. So yeah, I'm just trying to kind of resize like all these windows and everything so that I can kind of comfortably do the thing and also read chat as well. Never had it with that kind of ice cream though. Oh yeah. Um. So so my fiance was having really bad cramps, to put it lightly, and I was like, okay, I'll go to the store. Don't worry. So I got her favorite chicken nuggets, the ones that are shaped like dinosaurs, of course. Um, and then I also got um, cookies and cream and cookie dough ice cream, as well as a bag of Reese's and a bag of Skittles for each of us. So I got like 6 bags of candy. and so help me, I have been fighting every urge to just go into the fridge and eat all the ice cream. It's been a difficult struggle because I have a horrible sweet tooth. I've been trying to pace myself with the candy I bought too. Like I ate all the M&Ms. I ate my bag of M&Ms in like 2 days. Um, I think my fiance left her bag of Reese's on the couch when we were watching TV one time, and it kind of slowly gravitated towards my desk. And when no one's looking, I've been eating just big handfuls of Reese's Pieces. And my bag of Reese's cups that I got has not been opened yet. I've just been eating my fiance's candy instead. The strawberry shortcake's really good, but I'm not really much of a strawberry person, so I'm trying to get as many strawberries in each bite as I can so that I don't have to eat just the lone strawberries. Like I swear I'm usually not a picky eater, but there's only like a handful of things on this planet that I will not eat. Um, you can move them off to the side, but no, but I'll feel bad. I'll feel bad if I move them off to the side. My mother-in-law even just chimed in saying she's slaved long and hard for that dessert, Sam. I can't just put the strawberries off to the side. That's ungrateful. It's bad enough we make this woman cook for us. Email them to you and you'll eat them. I wish I could email strawberries to you, Sam. Okay, hold on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna see if the fiance wants these. I'll be right back and then we'll get started. Good news, everyone. She took the strawberries. All right. So we'll go ahead and get started here. Let's see. I, unlike the last one, I actually completely forgot to kind of read ahead. So we are experiencing this together. I've been freed. Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of wondering now if maybe I should kind of put the PDF on screen so that everyone can see what I'm reading. Also, hello, um, the Magic Pants trademark. Thank you for the follow. But yes, so let's see. Hello, welcome aboard. Came in just in time. We are just about to start our little chat Twitch plays Call of Cthulhu adventure here. Everyone needs some magic pants, to be honest. Yeah, that's true. That's valid. That's very true. Alrighty. Okay, so I do have, let's see. Oh, it's saying I should have the rule book handy. Do I even have the... You know what? That's okay. I can nab the rule book really quick. Give me just a moment here as I work my conjuring magic. And I'll get a rule book handy. Just in case. Let's see, keep a rule book. Okay. I believe that's just the core rule book, so. Oh, yeah. Okay. Because you know what? I should probably have one of those if I'm going to be playing Call of Cthulhu. It's kind of goes without saying. Um, so I'm just going to download that from one of my many like cloud storages. And then we will get rolling here. Hold on, I just need to adjust my avatar a little bit because I just noticed I was kind of torso up, kind of floating in the air. There we go. All right, that's better. Okay, so we've got that taken care of. Let's see. What else does this adventure say we need? Copy or printout of the character sheets, which I've got those. I copied the sheets in Roll20. So all we have to do is pick the character. We've got Alex or we've got Charlie. Let's see. And then we read the getting started section, and then we begin on page 8. All right. Getting started. So we've got the log sheet. I know how to roll dice in this system, so we're good there. All right. And then let's see, dying, going insane. That's on the log sheet page that I have handy, so we don't have to worry about those. All right, so just to kind of fill everyone in, so pushing rolls and spending luck. So well, there is a good chance that we will fail many rolls during the course of this adventure, and what we can do is we can push a roll, which is basically we can try to make the roll again, and then if we fail, extra bad things happen. And then there is also spending luck points. Fortunately, I've already kind of generated the luck points for each character that we could potentially play. So that's already handled. But basically, if, say, we make a roll and we fail just by a tiny amount, like if we're just like 1 point short of succeeding, then we have the option of spending a luck point in order to make that success. So that is also an option to kind of avoid falling into too much trouble with failed rolls. So it's kind of like we can try to push the roll at the cost of extra bad consequences, or we can spend luck points to kind of buy our way out of a bad situation. And let's see. Okay, let's see. Keep a record of the entry numbers you go to, as you may have to backtrack at certain times. I did not do that last time, so that's probably something that I definitely should do this time. So I'm going to go ahead and make a note of that. I've got so many things open. But you know what? I've got a little note page that I can open here. So with that said and done, we are pretty much ready to start. Finally, after after a good like 40 minutes of me talking, but you know, these are always kind of slower streams anyway, so that's no big deal. All right. So we have a choice of two characters. We have. Hold on. We enjoy the yap. Oh boy, heck and howdy. That's good. All right. So we have a choice between two characters. So ready to make poor decisions. Awesome, awesome. You know what? I'll even put. Give me just a moment. I'll even put the characters' pictures on here. Um, so we have our choice between Charlie and Alex. Ba, ba, ba. There we go. And then give me just a second to get these pictures. And then ba-boom. Okay. All right. And then let me open up that log sheet again so that I have a way of keeping track of our choices here. We'll just open that with Paint. That way I can mark this checklist down in real time. All right, and then so this is gonna look a little scuffed because I am adding this to this stream in real time. um, so here's Charlie. He's Charlie right here. Victim number one. He is a nurse. And then our second character or victim is Alex. And this is Alex right here. Okay. So our first choice is playing Charlie or Alex. Charlie is a nurse. He kind of has more knowledge in kind of a little bit of more medicine. He has some kind of natural science knowledge, knows a little bit of biology, stuff like that. Um, the book says Alex is a salesperson. I'm assuming she works retail or something to that degree. So yeah, so either we're playing Charlie or Alex, which means she is a survivor. Exactly. You know what? Maybe the real Cthulhu monster was late stage capitalism. I could see like a only maybe. That's true. I've had to deal with some pretty nasty customers. Oh, even worse yet. Well, it's got to. Now that I think about what I was about to say, it kind of sounds mean, but I do get a lot of older customers that when you try to explain anything like electronic or technical related to them, they kind of give you this like long distance kind of fish-eyed stare. Um, so could be they're about to turn into a deep one. Just just start melting and turning into a fish monster. So it kind of sounds like the consensus is we are going to play as Alex. That's kind of the vibes I'm feeling. If we're gonna make it to the end of this adventure, we need a survivor. We need someone that works in retail. A nurse just is not gonna cut it. Who needs medicine? We've got customer service voice. That's accurate. Yeah, that's true. All right. So Charlie did not make the cut then. So I'm going to go ahead and remove Charlie. There we go. No more Charlie. So I'm going to kind of reposition this picture here. There we go. This is our survivor. This is our character. This is Alex. And then give me just a moment to kind of pop the character sheet out into another window. I am just juggling a lot of windows today. But yeah, you're right. Who needs medicine when we have a customer service voice? When in doubt, just emotionally detach yourself from the situation. That's a useful survival skill, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it is. Exactly. Yeah. All right. And then I've got that open for note taking. Okay. And then where's my log sheet? There's my log sheet. So, that means we can mark out Alex. So that's the first thing we log. So we're playing as Alex. All right. Do. Gosh, I am. Both of my monitors are just full of windows and tabs at the moment. But anyway, so begin your adventure as Alex. We go to number 1. Entry number 1. So, just to kind of give a refresher on the premise of the story, Alex and Charlie are a couple, and they have gone to a cabin getaway in the Black Hills to basically try to mend their relationship. Things are tense right now. Um, and then monsters happen, and we're just gonna have to see if we make it to the very end. Because I remember the first kind of stream that I did that was like this. We were playing a college professor that was going to the wilderness with a group of his students, and all of them died, and then our professor character turned into a monster and started eating hikers. That was a fun time. I wonder if something similar is going to happen. Because we're also in the wilderness this time. I think the first one was in the wilderness in Canada. The one after that was in a small town that got flooded. Um, the last time we did something like this, it was our character was stranded in the English countryside, or maybe it was New England. I don't remember. And then this time around, we're going into the wilderness again. So we'll just have to see what happens. Anyway, beginning with entry 1. So, damn it, Charlie growls. struggling to fold an impractically large map over your car's steering wheel and avoid veering off-road into a tree at the same time. Can you just let me hold the map? You ask. No, I can do this just fine, Charlie says, then slams on the brakes to round another tight bend. It is late afternoon on the rural back road, deep within the Black Hills of South Dakota. The sun is high, but the air is cold. You've seen nothing but pine trees and two narrow, winding lanes for over an hour. Your car's radio is getting weaker. It sputters out a Neil Diamond song laced with static. Alright, so we ticked off Alex on the log sheet. We are officially playing as Alex. And then we have two options. We can keep trying to offer help, or we can change the radio station instead. See, poor decisions. Should have gone with Charlie. Oh my gosh. Radio station? Alright. Is everyone all aboard for radio station? I'll give it just a few moments here. Second radio station? Alright. Alright, let's go with the radio station. So, entry number 7. Let me also just make a quick note of that. That way we don't, just in case we have to backtrack. Alright. Alright, number 7. We're off of I-90, remember, you say? After a few moments of sulking, Charlie mutters a response. I remember. You reach over. Here, let me help with that. No! Charlie yanks the map away. Alex, just let me, okay? You put your hands up defensively and roll your eyes. Charlie drives on determinedly for a few more minutes before spotting a tiny, unpaved road cutting deeper into the forest. Charlie pulls onto it, and the two of you weave through the trees in silence. Customers always right ends when off the clock. Exactly. Alright, so, very dramatic ambiance music aside, we get to make it a psychology roll. So Alex just so happens to have a 45 in psychology. So for those that don't know, this game is on a D100 system. So basically, as long as my analysis is Charlie has road rage. That is a very astute analysis, Sam. So basically, as long as we meet or go under 45, that means we succeed. So there's a 45% chance that we will pass this roll. And it is a hard success, so that is really good. Thought you meant like psychology as in the scientific field. Oh, yes. I do, actually. So, we succeed in gauging how Charlie is feeling. So we're going to go to number 4. Charlie seems agitated. It's been over 3 hours in the car, so that's understandable. You reach over, put a hand on their leg, and squeeze. See them smile just a little in response. Not far now, Charlie says. Good. I can't wait to stretch my legs. You continue deeper into the forest. The little road you're on winds erratically. dipping up and down as it dodges between hills. The sky gets lost in the branches of pine trees. As the evening shadows lengthen, you feel cold seeping in from outside. After a few minutes, a few more turns, and a few miles travel deeper into the forest, the sun sets. Your car's headlights cut into the darkness, revealing the road ahead just a few feet at a time. Eventually, the lights drift over the front of a cabin, reflecting off two windows on either side of a front door, which seem to stare back at you ominously. The car stops and the headlights shut off. Finally, you sigh and step out onto the gravel driveway. As you walk around to the trunk to help with the suitcases, the cold night air seizes around you like a vice. Are you hungry? Charlie asks while you try to keep from shivering. Gently touches his leg. Had a soft moment. The music, dun-na. Yeah, I got pretty dramatic
Power
there.
word. Fart.
Star Spog, hello. All right, so now we make a con roll. And if we fail, we get to check off another box. We get to check off touched by cold on our log sheet here. So let's make that con roll, and then we'll talk about the choices. That is a success. Excuse me there. So a hard success on the con roll, so we are not cold. Of course, working in presumably retail, Alex is made out of some stern stuff. So Charlie asked if we are hungry. So we can either say we're hungry or we're not hungry. What's the vibe? Is Alex hungry after over 3 hours in a car? As the music is like the most dramatic thing ever. Pinch, I'm always hungry. I'd be hungry? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. All right. You nod. Sure. Hamburgers? Hamburgers it is. You take a brown grocery bag from the car's trunk, grab your suitcase, and walk to the cabin door. Charlie opens it up and steps inside. You follow, closing the door behind you to keep the chill out. And we go to number 11. Let me just make some notations here. There we go. All right. The cabin isn't very big. It's just one central room with a double bed, a chest of drawers, and a corner set up to serve as a kitchen. There's no microwave. Both the oven and stove use gas. You see two doors. One goes to the rear of the cabin, while another leads into a small bathroom. You just know it's going to be freezing in there. On the wall opposite the bed is a TV and VCR unit sitting on top of a cupboard. The whole cabin is lit by muted yellow bulbs. It's not dark, but it's not quite light either. I'll be in the John, Charlie says, then steps inside the small bathroom and shuts the door. You are left alone. You put your suitcase on the bed, take out a few essentials, then move to the kitchen and unpack your groceries. There's a gas fridge and icebox that, judging by the steady and not at all soft hum emanating from it, was installed sometime in the 1970s. So we have two options. We can get started on dinner, or we can wait for Charlie to get out of the bathroom. I'm really curious if you guys are going to be nice to Charlie or just not. So far, things seem to be cordial. But yeah, we have two options: to start on dinner or wait for Charlie. But I'm gonna guess that since the consensus was we're hungry, I think I think maybe getting started on dinner is gonna be a good assumption to make. I am flirting with Charlie. Six, six. Make a candlelit dinner for Charlie. All right. A cat stepped on the keyboard. Oh, which one was it? Was it Miko? Was it Vivi? All right. So candlelit dinner of hamburgers. Oh, Vivi. Charlie, it's so hot. How a map shattered your fragile masculinity back there. Ooh, Charlie, it's so hot how a map shattered your fragile masculinity back there. Ooh, woo. We could fix that masculinity. Oh my gosh. Central. Oh my gosh. Can't go anywhere with you people. All right, so we're making dinner. You unpack ingredients for hamburgers. You find matches in a drawer, hold a lit one to the stove's gas burner, and turn the dial. Nothing happens. Damn thing. You ignore the front left burner and use the front right instead. It lights up super quick. You've got patties frying and are chopping tomatoes when you hear the toilet flush. Charlie emerges from the bathroom soon after, sighing contentedly. Woof. Sorry, I've been holding on to that one since we left Pierre. How charming, you mutter. Charlie comes up behind you and wraps their arms around your waist. You feel their breath on your neck, then the brush of a kiss against your cheek. I love you, Charlie whispers. So, do we want to respond lovingly or change the subject? Um, just to kind of fill you in, Starspog. Um, so, Alex and Charlie are a couple that are going on a cabin getaway to try and repair their relationship. Respond lovingly. Lovingly, all right. Lovingly over hamburgers and chopped tomatoes. All right. Flirt, flirt, flirt. Central touches butt. Let's get hot in here. Oh my gosh. All right, all right. Bring me a hamburger and I'm all yours. Oh my gosh. All right. I love you too. You turn your head toward Charlie and kiss back. Now scoot. I need to finish dinner. You busy yourself in the kitchen while Charlie flops onto the bed. I'm so glad we're here. Your chat is very Ken this time. Oh, yes, this time. I'm so glad we're here. Me too. I think it'll be really good for us, you know? Yeah. Like Dr. O'Brien told us, Charlie says, staring at the cabin's warped reflection in the mirror black TV screen. Getting away from everything to just focus on us will be great. I think it could be really healing. So we have two options. We can talk about plans for tomorrow, or we can reassure Charlie and try to mend his fractured masculinity that was broken over a map. So we can reassure Charlie or talk about plans for tomorrow. Reassure Charlie. All right. Gosh, you guys are going down the romance route for sure. Plans, because we can repair that masculinity other ways. Okay. Okay. So we've got one vote for reassuring and one vote for discussing plans. Two votes for reassuring. All right. So we'll go with reassuring. Reassure Charlie so maybe he has a stronger masculinity for when insanity attacks. That's a good idea. That's a good plan. Yeah, you say with a faint smile. It'll be great. I know it. A few minutes pass, then you serve up the burgers. You and Charlie sit and eat silently. You find the cabin's nearby windows strange. Outside it's so dark that all you can see is your own reflection. It's like looking into a mirror. What do you want to do tonight? You ask, mouth half full. Charlie raises an eyebrow. You roll your eyes seriously. Well, you want to go on a hike tomorrow, right? You nod. How about we fire up a movie and take it easy? Charlie gestures at the TV. All right. Next two options. We can agree or we can complain. Netflix and chill. Oh gosh. Look, I didn't see any disclaimers for that, but yeah. So we'll go with agree. Put on the ring. Oh yeah. Sure, you say. Charlie grins, then takes the dishes and heads over to the sink to clean them. You walk over to the TV unit. It's a relatively cheap model from the late 1980s, sitting on top of a dusty VCR player. You switch both on and open a cabinet beneath them, wondering what videos Charlie's brother and his wife left behind. He sure likes scary movies, you say, looking over the titles. 15 different tapes, and you're sure that covers pretty much every major slasher film of the last decade. God, none of these look good. There's not even a single comedy, Charlie asks from the kitchen. All right, and now we get to make a spot hidden roll. Oh God, no, not sex tapes, no. Looks like it's just horror movies. So now we make a spot hidden roll, and we'll see how well that succeeds. That is a failure. Okay. All right. So, unfortunately, Alex does not have enough luck to even. Um, Actually, no. So Alex just so happens to have 35 points of luck. So if you all want to, we can use all of our luck points on this single roll. Which means we would be out of luck points for the rest of the adventure. Right in the beginning, yeah. That is an option. How if you guys want to shoot yourselves in the foot. Okay, but what if Save it? Alright. I have a feeling that saving the points is going to be the consensus. I vote save. Okay. Alright, yeah, we'll save the points. It was just something I realized that I think would be really funny. Even though that would be funny, let's save it, yeah. Alright. Take out the tapes and go through them one by one, rolling your eyes and performatively gagging at each cover as you go. Charlie walks over and joins you. Maybe we should have stopped by a Blockbuster on the way. You're telling me. These covers all look cheap. Think they're bootlegged? Probably, Charlie shrugs. I could have sworn he said there was more than just horror. He said they watched something that sounded like a chick flick last time they came up. Maybe it's still in the VCR. Charlie leans over and presses the eject button on the machine. There's a whirring of mechanical internals. Then the unit spits out a tape. Aha, Charlie says. Is it blank, you ask? Nothing written on it, but they're bootlegs, right? You shrug. Whatever. Rewind it and we'll take our chances. Can't be worse than any of these. Alright. So, do we want to watch the movie right away or get ready for bed first? Feeling so dated this entire time. Oh, I'm sorry, Sam. If it's any reassurance, I also feel dated. I am a fossil. Bed first, so when we fall asleep during the movie, everything is fine. Get cozy, then movie. Okay. All right. Getting ready for bed. It is. You grab your bag with one hand and head for the bathroom. I'll be right back, you say, and slip inside. It's even colder in the bathroom. You set the bag on the sink and blink at your reflection, staring back at you from a nearby mirror. The door creaks open just a little bit. You sigh and push it closed again, but it doesn't take. You look closer and see a little latch at head height. The door obviously can't hold itself shut unless it's locked. You roll your eyes, ignore the door, and brush your teeth. A few minutes later, you return to the main room and change while Charlie waits patiently on the bed. The movie is all set up, paused at the beginning. You climb up onto the bed and settle in as well. Ready for the random, hopefully not horror film? Charlie asks. Sure am. Start it up. You smile and slip under the blankets. Charlie presses play on the remote. And then we get to check off occupied on the logs sheet. So I'll go ahead and do that. There we go. Then we go to 22. When the film begins, the screen is black. There is faint music, but no opening credits. Then the screen cuts to blurry footage that was clearly recorded on a handheld camera. Is this one of Mark's home movies, you ask? Charlie laughs, then reaches for the remote. Oh, wow, I'm sorry. Wait a second, that looks familiar, you say, pointing at the TV. Charlie hesitates. On the screen, you see a wall of tall forest trees. Leaves and pine needles crunch under the feet of whoever's filming. The camera pans across the landscape, creating a blur of greens and browns. Suddenly, you spot Mark's cabin, standing alone in its little clearing. A dull, red sedan is parked out front. That's Julie's car, Charlie says. This must have been after their wedding. The camera is shaky. Wind rushes against the microphone, causing a brief flurry of horrid scraping from the speakers. There's movement near the red car. A woman, Julie, is taking bags from the trunk. She's smiling. Yeah, Charlie says, this is at least 5, 6 years ago. Julie turns as the cabin door opens. Mark steps out, walks over, and takes one of the bags from her. They smile and exchange unheard words. You sit bolt upright. What the hell? What's wrong? It's only Mark. Yeah, so who's filming? Charlie stammers and blinks. On the screen, Mark and Julie go inside and close the door behind them. The camera zooms in towards the window. The picture is a grainy blur of colors. You see movement in the cabin. The camera zooms even closer. Then harsh wind picks up and howls through the speakers. The image smashes to a slurry of loud static. White noise booms out into the room. The sound drills into your skull. You feel like it's going to make your head explode. All right. So we are going to make a note of this entry because it is telling us to. All right, and then we get to make a sanity roll. The first of the session. Here we go. All right. Sanity roll. Here we go. We've got a sanity of 50, so it's a 50-50 chance. And excuse me. And that is a fail. So what happens is we lose 1 point of sanity, and we get to check off unsettled in the logbook. We love a good coin toss. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so we'll go. I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna ba-boom. All right. Oh, that's right. My my key binds. I forgot. Hold on. There we go. They're back to normal now. All right. So let me just make note of it. We are unsettled. And then we have two options. We can either cover, Alex can cover her ears, or scramble for the TV dial and turn it down. So we've got cover our ears or turn the TV down. As white static and white noise from the TV is just filling the room. Turn the TV down? Okay, we've got 1 vote for turn the TV down, 2 votes for turn it down. To which I ask, turn down for what? Alright, so we'll go ahead with turn the TV down. You covering ears doesn't make it go away. That's also a fair point, yeah. All right. You dart from the bed, grimacing at the ear-splitting noise. You switch the dial and kill the TV. Charlie is sitting on the bed with her hands clamped over their ears like a dope. Sorry, it's only a remote for the VCR. There's no volume control. What the hell was that? You ask angrily as you step away and slump back onto the bed. Charlie shrugs. I don't know. Mark and Julie came out here with someone else? Charlie laughs. I don't really want to think about what my brother and his wife might get up to when they're out here. You roll your eyes. That was creepy. It was like a peeping Tom. Well, we know it's not. Charlie gestures to the TV cabinet. Why would Mark and Julie have the tape? All right. So, we can either get frustrated with Charlie, because it sounds like he's not taking this seriously at all, or we can stay calm. So we can get frustrated with Charlie, or we can stay calm. What are the vibes? Stay calm. All right, one vote for stay calm. You guys really like Charlie, it sounds like. Stay calm also. All right. So Alex is going to stay calm. You sigh. Whatever. You always know best, right? Wait, hold on. Oh wait, nope. I read the wrong entry. My bad. So we go to 30. I might be biased against Charlie for some reason. All right. You shake your head and take a deep breath. You're right. It's stupid. Let's just forget about whatever the hell that was. You still want to watch a movie? Charlie asks. Sure. Whatever is fine. One of those slocky flicks, you say. Charlie gets up. My pick? Your pick. Charlie smiles and looks over the tapes in the cabinet. Ooh, this is a good one. You lean forward to look at a tape that has a guy wearing a pumpkin on his head as the cover. I think you'll even like it, babe. Somehow, I doubt it. You smile. No, seriously, Charlie says, and slips the tape from the case. It's about this guy who's a writer, and he drives up to this secluded town in Maine, right? Charlie hits eject on the VCR, and anyway, the TV set blares to life. It bellows static through the cabin. Thunderous scraping and coughing bounces off the walls. You thrash and cover your ears. Charlie swears, but you can hardly hear it. The noise builds to a frenetic peak. It's almost unbearable. Then, just as quick as it began, the noise stops, and the TV falls silent. All the lights in the cabin go dead. The power is out. Hey, we are alone in the cabin with a rocky relationship. Charlie is a threat. That's a good point there. All right, the power is out. Charlie, you ask the darkness. Yeah? What was that? The power's out, I think. You hear scrambling in the darkness as Charlie shuffles along the floor, one hand touching the wall. They flick the light switch several times. I thought this place was on solar power. Well, I guess solar power still runs out. Is there a backup or anything? I don't know. I guess I'll have to head into town and call Mark in the morning. Oh, that's just great. You pull your legs to your chest. Okay, whatever. You're not used to this level of dark. The city doesn't get dark like this. You raise your hand in front of your face. You can't even see its outline. You feel anxiety rising in your chest. All right, so we have two options. We can lean on Charlie for support because Alex is afraid of the dark, or we can give up and go to sleep. Well, it sounds like she is afraid of the dark. Just sounds like she's a city girl. Lean on Charlie. Okay. Lean on Charlie. Alrighty. So, leaning on Charlie for support, maybe us doing this repairs his fragile masculinity. Bet on the baby blues, turn up the charm. Okay. Excuse me. Charlie, can you come to bed? Sure. The bed frame creaks as Charlie crawls onto it. In the silence following the outburst from the TV, even the slightest sound rings deafeningly loud in the quiet. You feel Charlie cuddle up close to you. I'm sorry, Charlie says. Don't be. Must just be an old, shoddy set. I think Mark had it since the 80s. We'll fix it tomorrow. You murmur softly in agreement. Charlie wraps an arm around you. You feel their breathing on the back of your neck. It slows quickly and soon fades into the gentle rumble of sleep. The sound is steady and calming. Before long, you drift off too. The only sound that disturbs you is the faint creaking of pines echoing softly through the black hills. All right. When you wake in the morning, you are alone. You stir and sit up. You stir in the bed and sit up. Babe? Oh, hold on. There is a break. All right, so I'm gonna pause just for ad break, and I'm gonna get some water. Oh, I have some water here, so we'll just take a small break, and we'll be back in looks like about 2.5 minutes. All right, welcome back, everybody. Give me just a moment to check my microphone really quick. Seem okay. You know what? I'm gonna do something really quick. I'll be right back one more time. Just seems like my microphone might be a little sensitive, maybe. So, I'm just gonna check something really fast. All right. There we go. Okay. I think that's a little bit better. But anyway, so gonna gonna go ahead and restart that little entry there. Excuse me. All right. You wake in the morning and you are alone. You stir in the bed and sit up. Babe? There's no answer. The only sound is the wind outside, carrying with it a gentle morning bird song. You get up and cross to the kitchen. There's a note taped to the chunky refrigerator, which is written in familiar handwriting. Sorry again. Just want this weekend to be special. Gone to town to get help fixing power. Back ASAP. Love you. You set the note down. Looks like you have a few hours to yourself. So we have two options. We can eat some breakfast, or we can go for a brisk walk. So we can get some breakfast or go for a walk. Those are our two options here. So breakfast or walk? Breakfast? All right. Got to vote for breakfast. So we'll go with
Power
breakfast.
Far.
All right. We'll go with breakfast. Scrounge up some bacon and eggs. The spit and sputter of cooking fat fills the kitchen. The leaden quiet out here is unsettling. More than once you make to turn the radio on before remembering that it won't work with the power out. You poke at your eggs idly with a spatula and slowly run your eyes across the room. They land on the dormant television set. Your heartbeat quickens. You frown. It's embarrassing how much that stupid videotape affected you. You roll your eyes and turn off the gas. You eat your hearty breakfast in silence. Once you're done and have washed the dishes, you realize you've got nothing else to do. And so decide to go for a walk. So, we can wait, we can leave to go on a walk right away. Or we can wait a few minutes in case Charlie comes back. So are we going on a walk now, or are we going to wait for Charlie? So going for the walk now, or waiting for Charlie? In a few seconds, I'm going to go ahead and flip a coin. All right, I'm going to go ahead and flip a coin here. So 1 is going to be for going right away, and 2 is going to be for waiting for Charlie. And that's a 2, so we're going to wait for Charlie. So that's going to take us to number 41 here. You loiter in the front of the cabin for a few minutes, pacing. You check your watch. There's no sign of your partner. Just the sun getting higher in the sky and the world outside warming in its rays. You sit for a moment on a little plastic chair by a pile of chopped firewood. So we get to make a spot hidden roll. Let's go ahead and make that roll. That is a success. All right. Let's see, 42. An unusual shape catches your eye, and you do a double take. A large axe has fallen between the wood pile and the wall of the cabin. You stand up, bend down, and pry it carefully from its resting place. It's covered in cobwebs. You set the axe against the wall by the door and dust off your hands. You take another glance down the driveway, but the road is still empty. No sense waiting any longer. You decide to begin your walk alone. You exit the house, taking a deep breath of forest air, then head down a nearby walking trail. It has been worn smooth by the hiking shoes of innumerable vacationing families. The forest grows thicker around you as you walk. Unseen critters skitter past in the underbrush. Birds move through the branches above, calling out and shaking pine needles to the forest floor. You come across a blueberry bush along the trail. So now we get to check something off of the log sheet here. So we get to check off lumberjack. And then we have two choices. We can stop and collect berries, or we can continue our walk. If anyone wants to join in, those are the two choices. We can get blueberries or continue the walk. Blueberries. All right, perfect. So one vote for blueberries. You know what, we'll go ahead and go with blueberries. So that's going to take us to entry 38. Let me go ahead and mark that on my notes here. There we go. You squat down and pick berries from the bush. Their flesh is weak. Juices spill off and stain your fingers purple. You're about to lick them clean when you hesitate. Blueberries are safe to eat, right? It wouldn't be a good look to accidentally poison yourself the first time you set foot outside the cabin. And then we get to make a natural world roll. So you have a 30 in that. Let's see if we succeed. That's 26. That is a success. So now we go to entry 77. You rub the berry residue between your fingers and frown. Maybe it's best until your partner is back with the car before you put your foraging skills to the test. You fold your arms and continue walking. You keep your eyes on the trail and force yourself to focus on the here and now. Off to the left, you hear running water. Off to the left, you hear running water. So we can investigate the sound, or we can stick to the trail. So investigate or stick to the trail. Trail? All right. Gonna go ahead and go with the trail then. You step off the trail and stride through the forest towards the sound of running water. The ground is uneven, so you steady yourself on the trunks of nearby pines as you go. You walk for a little while until the sound of the water gets louder. You crest a small ridge and discover a bubbling stream just on the other side. The water is rushing downhill fast, headed south. It's clear and fresh. The trickling sound is melodic. All right. So now we can take a drink from the stream, or we can sit for a moment and enjoy the scenery. So we can drink or we can sit for a moment and kind of enjoy the scenery here. Enjoy the scenery. Awesome. All right. So that's going to take us to entry 50. You carefully walk down to the riverbank. Loose leaves and pine needles wash downstream in a tiny rendition of white water rafting. Steadying yourself against a tree, you sit down on the riverbank, lean back, and close your eyes. A breeze brushes across your face and hair. You admire the way the sunlight paints the inside of your eyelids red and yellow. And now we make a listen roll. So you have a listen skill of 50. So let's see how lucky we get. That is a success. We've been having a pretty good luck streak with dice so far. All right. So that's going to take us to entry 46. Beyond the stream, between the trees, you hear twigs snapping. You stiffen, then stand up tall. Suddenly a deer emerges from the tree line. It steps slowly toward the stream, then spots you, freezes, and stares. The water running between you and the deer is the only thing that moves. You are both completely still, watching the other. You notice one of the deer's eyes is swollen with pus and blood. We get to make a natural world check. You indeed. And that is another success. I have a feeling this luck streak is gonna end badly eventually. But we passed. You've watched enough nature documentaries to know that whatever's infecting the deer's eye isn't common. It doesn't look like any of the frightening diseases, prions, or parasites you've seen on TV. You take a step toward the deer, palms raised, trying to look non-threatening. As soon as you move, the deer turns and bolts. It vanishes into the colors of the forest within seconds. You're left alone by the stream. Creepy. You'd better get back to the trail. Alright, so we get to check off veterinarian on the log sheet here. Alright, and then we go to 55. You hit the trail and push forward, heading farther down the Black Hills and deeper into the forest. It's a pleasant hike. Sunlight filters through the pine branches and casts up dancing shadows all about you in the cool morning air. After a half hour or so, you feel nature calling and step behind a tree to pee. You are fumbling with your clothes when you spot something. Ahead, off the trail, and nestled in a narrow valley, is a dilapidated wooden shed. We can investigate the shed or ignore it. So, investigate the shed or ignore the shed. Those are our two choices. Investigate. All right. You step through the small clearing where the shed leans lopsided against a rocky, moss-ridden mountain wall. It's not large, maybe half the size of Mark and Julie's cabin. It's made entirely of wood. A rotting piece of pine serves as a makeshift door that's only just still hanging from the frame. The place looks like nobody has been here in years. You step closer to the shed and put your hand against the door. It swings in slowly and easily. The shed is dark inside. You see the faint, shadowy blotches of furniture hidden in the gloom. So we can leave the shed, or we can step inside. We can stay, or we can go. Inside, what could happen? Oh, who knows? Who knows? Alright, the only light in this shed comes from the open door and a few cracks in the uneven, weatherboard walls. There's no windows. It's like this place was designed to be gloomy. You see a small workbench, a wall-mounted cupboard, and a stack of cardboard boxes. The rest of the furniture is mildewy and unremarkable. The floorboards creak beneath you as you walk across the room. All right. So, depending on what we choose, there is the chance that we'll return to this spot a few times. So we have 4 options. We can search the cupboard, we can look over the bench, or we can rifle through the boxes, or, last but not least, we can leave the shed and just nope out. So cupboard, bench, boxes, or leave. Boxes. All right. Time to rifle through the boxes. The boxes are wet and caked with mildew. You open the flaps on the topmost box. The cloying smell of rot hits your nostrils as soon as you touch it. Inside is a pile of black clothing. You pull the first article out. The smell gets worse. The clothing is all long and hooded, and each is about the size of a bedsheet. This looks like something somebody would wear in one of Mark's stupid slasher films. So we can keep searching, or we can go back to the previous entry that had all the options. Do you want to keep searching the boxes? Definitely not foreshadowing or anything. Oh yeah, definitely not. Yeah, so we can keep searching, or we can stop searching. Keep searching. All right. Vay, I think you were here the last Call of Cthulhu stream I did, and if I remember right, it was like that last time. It was basically like if you don't investigate anything and just try to get out of town, then the character survives. But honestly, the fun part of Call of Cthulhu is investigating everything, even if it's dangerous. Alright, so we're going to keep searching. You move the topmost box aside and open the next one down. This one has been more successfully protected from the elements. Inside is a collection of dirty glass jars, a long dagger in a leather sheath, and a handheld camcorder. Alright, so this one also has a few options. So, okay. First time you read this entry, if unsettled is checked, you must go to 67. Okay. So looks like the choice has been made for us, because we checked that word on the log sheet. You blink as you look at the camcorder. For a moment, your ears fill with a high-pitched howl of crunching static, the same sound that played last night. You raise your hands towards your ears, but as quick as the sound began, it's gone again. You step away from the boxes. You're not sure if you can stomach going through them. Okay. So now we make a power roll. So our power is at 50. So it's another 50-50 chance. So basically, if we pass the roll, we can go back to searching through this box. If we fail, then we go back to the different options again. So I'm going to make that power roll. And that is a failure. So we are going to lose a point of sanity. And we're going to backtrack a little bit. So now we have 48 sanity. Sad. Yeah. I wanted to to go through that camcorder, but looks like we are going back. So we can so we're back to the shed. Light coming through the door, a few cracks in the uneven walls. So we have the choice of going through the cupboard, going through the bench, or leaving the shed. We cannot go through the boxes because we found that camcorder and failed that roll. So cupboard, bench, or leaving the shed. Cupboard. All right. Is that how you spell it? Yes, that is how you spell it. It's cupboard, but it's pronounced cupboard. So 58. The cupboard hangs precariously from a dilapidated wall. It has a stressful forward tilt, gripped by gravity. You see a few rusted nails securing it in place. You carefully open the doors. Within are two little shelves, both lined with videotapes. They are home tapes, like the ones Mark had, with the white stickers on the front marked with black Sharpies. The tapes are still caked with moss and spider webs. So we're going to make a spot hidden roll. We have a spot hidden of 35. Let's try that roll. That is a failure, but we have two options. We can push the roll, which we do the roll a second time, but at a worse consequence. Or we can spend luck points. For this one, we would have to spend 17. 15 points in order to pass the roll. So we can try to roll again, or we can spend luck. Mind you, we can roll again because that is what the this particular entry or section tells us we can do. We can't push every roll, but this one we can. So we could roll again or spend the luck. I'll give it just a few more seconds here. But I'm honestly myself, I'm kind of leaning towards pushing the roll and giving it a try. Hell yeah. All right. Let's push that roll. Spot hidden one more time. Oh, that is a hard success. So we do succeed. So we get to succeed. You notice an empty space in the row of tapes where one is missing. You reach out and take the tape next to it. It is a little less damaged than the rest. Maybe it will still work. The black marker title reads, The Quiet in the Evening. You take the tape and tuck it away. All the videos have weird names. You note a few. The Sun with the Trees. Hoping It Erupts. The Way She Moves in the Night. And The Cry of the Children. You narrow your eyes, anxiety rising, and gently close the cupboard door. So we're going to tick off The Quiet in the Evening on the log sheet. And we're going to go to 57. All right, so we're back at the shed again. We can look over the bench, or we can leave the shed. So we can check out the bench, or we can leave the shed. Bench, all right. Time to go to 62. All right. The bench is laden with a collection of tools. None have been touched in years. They're covered in greasy dust. You see a dull gray hammer. Perhaps it could be useful. There's also what looks like a specialized miniature screwdriver set. So we can check out the hammer, examine the screwdriver set, or we can backtrack. Screwdriver set. All right. You take the case and open it. It's full of tiny drivers. The heads are bizarre and strange shapes. Your mind whirls. What wondrous secret purpose must these tools be for? What tiny instrument were they complicit in the functioning of? What strange mystery have you stumbled upon? Your mind races as you consider the possibilities. Seriously, though, it's just a set of tiny screwdrivers. You have no idea what they're for. So we get to mark off toolkit in the log sheet. And then we are back at the beginning again. Looks like the only option left is going to be leaving the shed. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to go ahead and do that. So we leave the shed. That's enough of that. You step out of the little shed and back into the forest. You wince in the harsh light of the sun and let your eyes adjust. You make your way back to the trail and continue your hike for about half an hour. Then you turn and head back home. You crest the rise that leads back to the cabin. The sun is high in the sky. It's late morning, soon to be afternoon. You sigh. There's no sign of the car, and therefore you're probably still without power or your partner for now. You head inside. Everything is well lit by the late morning glow. Change out of your walking clothes and leave them on the bed. Then head into the bathroom to shower. All right. So we did have occupied checked off. So we go to 86. You close the door behind you and turn on the shower faucet. Water cascades into the waiting tub below, filling the room with a constant loud drizzle that is almost reminiscent of white noise. The pressure is lousy without power to the pump, but gravity does most of the work. Thank God the water heater is gas-powered. You pause, remembering that the bathroom door doesn't keep itself shut. You push it closed harder and put the latch on to secure it in place. You step into the shower and wash the morning hike away. All right, so I think we're going to leave it there for now, because I've been talking for about 2 hours, and these streams usually do a pretty good number on my voice. So we're going to end at the 2-hour mark here. So thank you everybody for hanging out, for listening, lurking, and participating for those that did. We're going to go ahead and end the stream here. Understandable, rest the voice and drink lots of water. Thanks for streaming. Oh, you're welcome. So I did promise to play Voices of the Void on Monday. So we're going to continue with this on Wednesday. We're going to go for a part 2 on Wednesday for the Call of Cthulhu. And then we'll be playing Voices of the Void on Monday. Let's see. So give me just a moment here. And we'll find somebody to raid. I'm going to go ahead and turn the ambiance off there. All right. So, let's see. Who is streaming tonight? Let's see. We've got a few friends. Okay, looks like my friend Nix is playing Abiotic Factor, which, if I remember right, is basically like a survival horror crafting game. And you're basically scientists trying to escape from a science facility of some kind, like a secret laboratory. So we're going to go ahead and raid them. And yeah, we'll raid them, and then I'll catch you all next time. So, like I said, Monday is going to be Voices of the Void. And then Wednesday is going to be part 2 for Alone Against the Static. All right, have a good night. I'll catch you all next time, and see you later.